Okay, so I'm down in old Uncle Raj's basement again. We were here earlier today and we did an episode number 4 of Mirami-histor-chi. And we covered a raft race on the river, and it was very interesting to go through. And it was also, I was actually just getting a coffee afterwards, and I was talking to the person at the coffee shop about this raft race, and then a couple of people that were sitting there were like, where did you get the documentation from that? And I told them what was going on, and they were kind of interested, and they remembered it very well. So, you know, these projects, or this project that I'm doing with my Uncle Raj is very, you know, it has been very therapeutic for me. It's you know, to spend time with an uncle, and you know, especially I'm here on the Miramichi, my hometown, coming from Vancouver, following my father's death. And this is my dad's brother. Raj is about to sit down here, and it has been a therapeutic thing for me just to do a creative project like this, and how important it really is. And a friend of mine in Vancouver, who is a really special woman and a special person, and the work that she's doing in Vancouver is really really important work, in my opinion. Her name is Keiko Honda. She just published this memoir this year, Accidental Blooms it's called. And, you know, I really loved reading it because, you know, I have a close connection with her, a good friend of mine. But the reason I bring her up is because the work that she does is connecting people in the community through art creative projects. And it's like intergenerational work. And she just gave me a text message today. Hi, Jamie. And this is, I wrote it down. Hi, Jamie. I just watched 2 episodes and subscribed. I think it's brilliant. I think it's a brilliant idea to have a video project to connect local history together with your beloved uncle. Watching you and your uncle made me feel very nostalgic about family and community, and that I would love to be a part of. And she's not talking about being a part of our family and community. She's talking about, you know, in her hometown. She's actually from Japan, originally living in Vancouver. I would also, okay, so bravo to you and Uncle Roger. What a gem. You look great and always speak from your heart. I look forward to your intergenerational project, which is needed for our society. I would also love to, and she puts in quotations, visit your town, Miramichi. You should show some places in your video. Now, the reason I put quotations for visit is that Keiko doesn't travel easy. She's in a wheelchair. And when she was telling me that I'd love to visit your town, she's saying that in these videos, you should be including some videos of the Miramichi area, maybe certain things that we talk about. So I'm thinking about that, and I did think about that, and it's a really good idea, and maybe we will do it. So I just wanted to share that little snippet with you. We're just going to do a part 2 that is connected to our previous episode, so it shouldn't take too long, and I'm just waiting for old Raj to make his way down here right now. Okay, we'll see you in a second. He's about to come. Okay, are we just, I just pressed record. Are we gonna, is there any little prep that we need to do?
Well, we know we're back on to
The rafts.
season 2 of the Raft Race on 84.
Yeah, like I actually just said that. It's like, so there was a raft race in 83, 84, and 85, and we figured since we did the 83 version earlier today, and since Roger has it all out, we're just going to go through, it's probably not going to be a very long video, there's not as much, but we have the 84 and the 85 raft race down the Miramichi River. And as I had just mentioned on the camera, I went to a coffee today up at Creative Grounds, Chatham, and then I was talking to the guy working at the coffee shop, telling them that we were doing a video, a YouTube video, and talking about the raft race. And the guy in the corner was like, they were interested, two guys talking, and they were like, where did you get documentation now? Like, where did you get that? And I told them, I said, oh, my Uncle Roger in Logieville, Roger. And he's like, Roger Como? And I was like, yeah. And then I ended up knowing the guy, but he remembered it very well, and he remembered the name of it. What was it called? The world's greatest raft race, or from all the planets or something like that. So he remembered it, Glenn Cameron. So
this is like 41 years ago.
41 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he remembered.
He remembered, and you know what? It's really cool. So what are we gonna do? We're just gonna start. You don't have a real agenda here like you did earlier today, did you?
We're going to give a little preliminary that the first race was won by pontoons. We should say that came from Wally Jimmo's backyard. No data came from the air base.
Oh, okay.
And likewise, this race here was a crew from the base, CFB, and they won the race with bigger pontoons.
With the bigger pontoon. So they didn't have any rules for rafts. Okay, so Miramichi's Fantasy Island. The fastest raft was Miramichi's Fantasy Island, entered in the race by CFB Chatham.
Yeah.
And that's this raft right here.
Bring it up a little higher to show the size of the pontoons.
Oh yeah, I see.
Right there, yeah.
There's the pontoons. But just, these photos in black and white, once you have black and white, right, it just kind of makes things look a little bit older and a little bit more historical. And then there was a group of nurses from Hotel Dieu Hospital in Chatham. That's where my mom started her career as a nurse. As CRIB won the award for Best Female Float. The Best Female category was initiated this year to encourage more female participants in the race. So, why not? I don't think we're separating things like that in today's world. We're doing a better job than that. But look at this. There is a group of nurses on a raft that entered the race, and they're in their uniforms. So that's kind of cool. I'm sure they had a great time.
And all the life jackets are underneath their uniforms.
And all the life jackets are on underneath their uniforms. It's kind of great, though, like looking at some old stuff here, and just like how safety was a different issue. And there's pros and cons to that, in my opinion. How do you want to discard these?
Oh, just throw them in
Okay.
that. Now, this is a neat photo here. It's too bad. We may have a Kingston here. It might be Lawrence Kingston's sister.
Lauren, oh yeah.
The Choral Society.
Okay.
And you can read the edit. It's a real nice photo.
The Choral Society, what was that? Just a choir from...
Well, singers, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just like very... grassroots, small town things. We have a nurses doing a raft on this raft race. The Miramichi Choral Society puts a raft in. Very community oriented. And this caption reads, a warm sunny day on Saturday provided ideal conditions for the dozens of participants and thousands of spectators who watched the second annual Great Miramichi Leader Raft Race. Among the many entries was this raft of the Miramichi Choral Society. So we think we know one of the guys' sister in that. And you know what? Did you hear the one about the local newspaper that estimated the crowd and were correct? Because neither did I. Nobody knows how to estimate a crowd. Thousands of spectators. Yeah, like people don't know the difference between 100 and 1,000 when it comes to a crowd.
Yeah.
From my experience.
Yeah.
Oh. Right there, sorry.
Just over there. That way there we're going to know which one we watched, right?
Yeah.
So we'll give another another version of the winning. Now some writing here will say how many. Right here.
Okay.
There.
There were 105 entries, double the number last year. So 83, there was 60. I think we said there was 51.
Yeah.
And this year there was 105. Wow, eh?
Yeah.
And there's a couple of photos. And these like, when we say we're doing a history of the Miramichi, this is Raj's collection. So it's not like we're going back to the 1800s or anything like that here. We're going back to Raj when he was in this home, and it's almost 50 years of of newspaper clipping documentation. But just look at the fun this would have been. These guys had trees on their float, and those are the first life jacket sightings. Look at there, hanging over with some life jackets on, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
We actually have an audience member in our studio tonight, folks. One of Raj's very close friends is joining us for today's episode, and she's our audience member.
so we have a couple of winners that that won prizes there.
Okay.
This one here, it says it right there. Now see if you can zoom in so they can pick up on, that's supposed to be Renous.
Okay.
R-E-N-O-U-S.
Okay, so the
So they won a prize for Renous
right.
in penitentiary.
I gotcha. Do you remember? Like, did you go up and watch this?
Eh?
Did you go up and watch this when it happened?
Oh,
These
just
raft races?
just along the road.
Yeah, but
Just to see them going down the river.
okay, so you did go check it out yourself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any recollection of this, and I would have been like 8 years old. I don't know how. The Horizon Summer newspaper won Best Name for its Renews Pen Raft. Now, Renous is a community on the outskirts of our major city, and it's spelled R-E-N-O-U-S, Renous, and that's where the maximum security penitentiary is. That's where Big Al Legier was housed, and they didn't house him very good because he got on the loose there for a while. But anyhow, I see some more life jackets. Where's the Renew? There it is. The Renous pen. And it's just a bunch of people from all over the Miramichi. It seems like they're coming from all different walks of life. And look at this, 100 rafts racing down a river. Well, we say racing. People were there to hang out and have some fun and all that stuff.
Well, the tide pretty well took them.
The tide, yeah, they'd have to be knowing where the tides were and plan that
A lot
out.
of the rafts have a scully guard in the back to keep them straight, eh?
Yeah.
And you probably tell the winner of that.
Oh, here's a group of rafts below not long after starting out in Newcastle. At right is the Chatham Lions Club entry, judged Best Service Club Craft. Wonder what that means, Best Service Club Craft. Anyhow, one more photo from the Great Miramichi Raft Races, folks. Oh, right here, yeah.
Yeah. Now, that's a winner. And you'll show another set of pontoons over here with a different different group here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miramichi's Fantasy Island captures Raft Race. The crew of the winning entry in the Miramichi Raft Race, Miramichi's Fantasy Island. Who was on it?
It's just guys from the air base. That
Okay, yeah.
No.
Well, it looked like two couples, actually. It looked like a couple of couples there, and they looked like it's a great looking raft. They put some trees on there, and the guys and then the gals are sitting out front with, these are the ones with life jackets. And then here's another one. It says like English Bay. It's funny because there's a place in Vancouver that we call English Bay. Participants dig for home on all sides of a raft, which is believed called the Eng Bay, during the annual raft race on the Miramichi River Saturday.
Okay. Yeah.
Something on the back?
Yeah, I probably not area.
Right.
Okay, now the Miramichi leader writer,
Yeah.
Rick McLean. I
Okay.
think he did a lot of write up on Legier.
Okay.
That's his raft there,
Okay.
and I'm thinking that might be Jerry Green, a young
Oh, yeah.
Jerry Green. I'm
Yeah.
just guessing. I don't know the rest of the faces.
One of the voices of the Miramichi Gagno
Packers.
Packers.
Tell what happened to this raft right here.
Okay. I'll show some photos first. Look at these great photos, eh? Okay. It says at least one raft couldn't complete the trip. like this entry which broke apart. Several owners unable to retrieve their rafts right after the race found them cut loose, stolen or vandalized on returning Sunday or Monday. Oh yeah, some things never change then, do they? The Miramichi leader, although not eligible for any prizes, entered the raft race with a decorative lobster trap above. So there's the Miramichi leader. This is Rick McLean. He was a reporter for the leader for a while, and Raj remembers him doing some of the reporting when the serial killer Alan Legier escaped. Well, maybe all rafts weren't exactly level on the water, but that just added to the fun. And you see that's tipped, and then we just mentioned, we think that's Jerry Green. And he was a local guy that did some sports reporting, and then when our local senior hockey team was doing well, he was one of the voices of that.
Yeah, and he's a car salesman for Hyundai.
Oh, he works over at Hyundai right now?
Across the river, yeah. Okay, now this one here, I'm not going to go by that, but
okay.
That's another raft there. I think that won an award.
Okay. And again, you know, like I know I've been going back and forth, but again, to have somebody in a small community that takes the time to document this stuff deserves recognition, and that's what we're doing. Okay, here's a photo right here. By the way, that person is obviously Uncle Raj. To my left, to your right on camera. All the comforts of home. Lack of an official sponsor for this year's Great Miramichi Raft Race did not erase the spirit and enthusiasm of the half-dozen teams who participated in Saturday's event. Miramichi Lumberjacks 52, built by employees of the Atlantic Wafer Board Limited and pictured above near the Chatham Wharf, was one of the unofficial winners of the race. Man, the community came out for this, didn't they? It almost makes me wish I was born 10 or 20 years earlier. I guarantee it, I would have been a part of a raft.
Yeah, so this clipping here has a 1986 year to it. And when they say of the half-dozen teams who participated, so possibly there was some sort of a...
Oh, you think this got mixed up in the...
Yeah, possibly there might have been some of them did do a little thing in '86.
Oh, I see.
So I don't think I have anything.
That's not accurate then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now here's a group of guys from the paper mill in Newcastle.
Okay, I can hold that up. That's a great photo on the raft. And if we were to read some names, we got Norman Savage. Did you work with any of these guys?
Norman Savage, not with them, but I knew them.
You knew them.
They were always they come to my shop there for stuff.
You know, we spoke about the Air Force Base in an earlier episode being shut down and how it impacted our community. Well, Raj, his career was spent at the Miramichi Pulp and Paper Mill. Like, well, it went through several names, right?
Oh yeah.
Repap and when that place closed, what year was that?
UPM there. Well, was around 2005 when I was
Right.
got packaged off. So I think it was maybe the year after that or
So in the early 2000s, when that place closed down, it was a massive punch to the gut in our town here. So guys that were on that: Norman Savage, Luke Manuel, Tracy Mott, he's a Logieviller, Ross Gilder or Gilder? Gilder, David Match. Is that Michael's father?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Who's that? Harold. Harold Fashok.
Sharp or something. It's in the shadow.
Okay.
There. There's
Mark.
Michael Kramer here.
Michael Creamer and Daryl Ramsey.
Yeah, Daryl is. Yeah. Oh, so I knew
Yeah.
those guys.
So those guys had a little raft, and that kind of concludes the. Oh no, we got a few more clippings from '84.
This is the advertising of the race.
Oh, okay. This is the advertising. Don't miss the Great Miramichi Leader Raft Race, Saturday, August 11th. The Miramichi Raft Racing Championships of all the world and nearby planets. Be fun, be safe, be legal. And that's the only bylaws or laws that were given to the population back then. It was like from a newspaper, just be safe and be legal. Starts at the Morrissey Bridge, Newcastle, and finishes at the Chatham Wharf. And I wonder who the artist was on the paper at that time, but there it is. That's a full-page ad from 1984 to advertise the second annual Miramichi Raft Race.
Yeah, the artist is Hogan.
Oh, Bill Hogan?
Yeah.
Bill Hogan, right. I remember that name. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to pause her right there, and we're going to come right back at you with the last edition, 1985, since we're on topics of raft. Okay, we're almost through the rafts.
Now we're going to do 85.
We got the 1985 edition coming up. I'll just start with this.
Yeah, we're going to do two photos of this same thing.
Okay.
So one after the other.
Okay. Well, this is the 1985 edition. We're just again going through and showing photos of this raft race. That's the big barrel. Isn't that cool? Like, that takes some time. So captions read, Liberal leader and Captain Frank McKenna. Oh, there's the one. There's the picture of Frank. Left with board. Tries to add a little speed to the raft. Rainbow Warrior during the Miramichi Raft Race Saturday. Others are from the left. Wally Doucette, Ed McDermott, and Liberal MLAs Rayburn Doucette and Conrad Landry. There is the former Premier of New Brunswick, Frank McKenna, and when he won his first premiership, he swept the whole province. All 51 seats, I think it was. And then below, the raft Popeye, captained by Glenn Garish of Upper Derby, makes its way across the Miramichi. And Glenn, I remember reading Glenn from the 83 edition. He was in that one too. That's a cool raft right there. That's almost like Jacques Cousteau-ish.
Yeah, there's another version of it.
Okay, and there's another photo of the barrel. Great photo. Eh? So much fun. Best individual raft, Popeye. And hooray for downtown Chatham on the same thing. Arms up. Nobody was on their phones back then because they had to go back to their kitchen to get on their phone. Okay, so the pirate ship ready for action. One of the rafts from CFB Chatham. Some more photos coming at you. Some Miramichi River. Really cool. CFB Chatham. Community members participating in a great event.
I should have probably cut these up, you know.
That's okay.
In strips there, but there's
okay.
There's 6
Oh,
small.
folks, we're gonna get into some scandalous photography right now. Scandal, scandal, scandal. I'm gonna start over here. Some more pictures of rafts. Okay, and I'll read those captions. It said, a large and mighty crew, TP and crew, so there was a TP raft, a happy crew aboard their craft. And then if we go to this side, some more raft photos. You just wait till the scandal. There's going to be scandal happening here, folks, pretty soon once we get to the center of this page. So those captions read, yeah, winning industrial raft, the A-Team. So that was from the old television show, the A-Team. Rambo Warrior 2. Actually, I was going through Netflix yesterday, and Rambo popped up on the old thing, and I was like, wow. Okay, now, the former Premier of New Brunswick. Look at this beautiful photo. There's Mr. Frank McKenna sitting on the raft with his arms around a bunch of river folk, it says. Frank McKenna with other river folk. That's a great photo, actually.
Okay,
That's a great photo.
Just hold it up there.
Yep.
Okay, now the lady in the middle.
Yes.
Now, when I worked at the pulp mill, I'm sure she did a summer job there. And I'm going to guess that she's a sister to Stuart Scott.
Okay.
Stuart Scott was a foreman up there at the pulp mill. And if I could get a hold of her, she could probably give you the names of the
others.
friends.
Well, do I recognize anybody? No, but it's a great photo. Great photograph.
Yeah. So that's it for 85.
Oh, that's the 85 edition. So you can, and then Roger had this too, and this was from a March 17th, 2000 edition of our local Miramichi Leader, and it's a kind of a commentary from the publisher David Cadogan, and he was reminiscing and writing about the Raft Race, and he says, the offer of great Miramichi Leader Raft Race hats for race pictures is beginning to produce results. They're starting to trickle in. Oh, so they must have been looking for old photos. Ed Skid delivered a wonderful bunch from the 85 invasion. Some I remember. Some are shrouded in brain fog. Who made that fabulous huge barrel anyway? Well, we just told you it was Garish from Lower Derby or Upper Derby. Did the plumbers and outfitters survive without springing a leak?
That's the name of the raft.
There's the name of the rafts, yeah. There's the SS Carlton with its neat picket fence and the SS Sharkbait. I remember the lobster trap. Wait a minute, that was our gang. Is that a jail cell? Were we sure that Irvin Raft didn't have a nuclear engine? Ah, yes, the SS Scully. The skull and crossbones seem appropriate. There's the Plytanic. That was the first winner, I think. Yeah. A Henry Legier masterpiece modeled on the River Log Run rafts. I think I recognize the guy in the Miramichi's Fantasy Island. For a pile that size, Ed gets 2 hats. Keep 'em coming. So, you know, it was a cool little 3-year thing. I don't really remember it, and I was around as a kid. But thanks again, Raj, for being the guy that took the time to document that, and we just kind of shared it the best we can. So I am going to be heading back over next door and reading some pages of a book before I go to bed tonight, and then Raj and I maybe will be around tomorrow to tackle another year out of his filing cabinet on the Miramichi's history, on this latest edition of Mirami-histor-chi. Good night, folks.